Hi everyone, my name is Mian Brown and I'm a senior psychology major and criminal justice minor here at Marsville University. And today I'll be exploring with you how maltreatment impacts disclosure among child abuse victims. So a lot of things have been changing in this crazy world because of the impacts of COVID-19, and that is no different for child abuse, and there has been a spike or increase in the number of cases that we have seen. Medical Dr. Jamie Kaufman said that over 5 days she saw 7 children and babies who were hospitalized because of the intensity of abuse. Dr. Kaufman also identified risk factors associated with child abuse during this time, and she said that any time that stress increases, the risk of abuse for children also increases. The last recession that we saw in this nation, the rate of physical abuse and child deaths related to child abuse were off the charts in both categories. Worldwide, people are experiencing mass unemployment, food insecurity, and among other things, the fear of illness. The escalation of these stressors can increase behaviors such as depression and anxiety in the household between family members, and tension in the relationships, and it can cause irritability. These factors are important because they affect whether or not a child will disclose their abuse to a forensic interviewer. According to McGuire and London in 2017, disclosure is an essential part of the help-seeking process and can alleviate physical and emotional pain following abuse. A victim of child abuse undergoes a forensic interview in order to hear from the child themselves and from their perspective what happened. During this interview, the goal is to get the child to disclose that an abuse did happen, but oftentimes they will get a non-disclosure, a partial disclosure, or a full disclosure. But getting the full disclosure is the most important thing, and it can make a case move along a lot quicker, and it will get resources to families faster. But oftentimes there's a delay in disclosure, and that's the most common, and the child will have to undergo multiple forensic interviews in order to get a full disclosure if this happens. Zhao and Smith Prince in 2015 detected reasons for a delay in disclosure. These included feelings of confusion, disbelief, guilt, shame, and self-blame. Other factors that increased the delay of disclosure included age, perceived lack of support, relationship with the perpetrator, their culture, as well as their family dynamics. Most of the research that is done on child abuse is heavily focused on child sexual abuse, and because it's the most prevalent form. In 1993, SAS found that in a sample of 126 child victims of sexual abuse, 81% of the males were more likely to delay their disclosure as opposed to the 58% females. In a study done in 2003 by Goodman Brown, Edelstein, Goodman, Jones, and Gordon, found in a large phone sample that 42% of males versus the 33% of females said that they didn't disclose their childhood sexual abuse until adulthood. An important gender statistic to note is that females are 4 times more likely to be abused than males, and that the common age category that's targeted is 9 to 13 years old. Due to cognitive limitations, younger children are much less likely to disclose their abuse because they have little knowledge of societal expectations as well as societal sexual taboos, so they're not sure exactly what's happened to them in the first place. The process of asking children to disclose about people who have power over them is where agencies like K.A.R.E come into place. They provide a safe and supportive physical location for the families to report to. Kids Advocacy Resource Effort is a nonprofit child advocacy organization located in Waynesville, North Carolina. Their main mission is to end child abuse through advocacy, education, and support. This is where I was able to do my spring internship this semester through taking fieldwork in psychology. During my time with K.A.R.E, I was able to be under the supervision of the executive director of the nonprofit. Her name is Savannah Clark. And I was able to shadow her and go around on her day-to-day business and figure out what it was like to actually work in a nonprofit agency. I got to work with several different staff members in different roles in the agency. K.A.R.E offers victim services and has 2 amazing forensic interviewers that took me under their wing and provided me with multiple educational experiences. K.A.R.E offers courses on child personal safety, darkness to light courses, which is a sexual abuse course that is highly sought after, and it has courses recognizing and reporting child abuse. Not only does K.A.R.E advocate and educate, but they thoroughly support their clients by using empirically based programs designed to assist parents in establishing strategies to raise healthy children. Although my time at K.A.R.E was cut short, I'm still extremely thankful to Savannah and her team for taking me under their wing and teaching me all these new things that I can use further into my life and into my career. While I was interning at K.A.R.E, I had the amazing opportunity to help them enter and analyze their data in order to provide them with a statistical analysis that they can present to any board that they need to go to. The title of my research is Exploring How Maltreatment Impacts the Disclosure Among Child Abuse Victims. As I mentioned before, all of this data was collected through K.A.R.E and I analyzed it for them. My main focus was to analyze whether the form of maltreatment, being physical, sexual, neglect, or child-on-child, impacts whether or not a child does or does not disclose. I also analyzed age and gender, but excluded race because of a lack of diversity in the general area of which the clients come from and are based out of. So the results that I found using a chi-square non-parametric test were very interesting. As you can see displayed on this bar graph, I have taken all of the ages from the children in a sample of 122, and I've put them into 3 different categories. The 0 to 8 category is the youngest, 9 to 13 being the middle age, and 14 and up, 17 was the oldest child that was used in this set of clients. But I recognized 2 trends that coincide with national and international research regarding age and disclosure. Referring back to earlier in my presentation, I mentioned how ages 9 to 13 were the most at-risk group, and this age group was also the bulk of my set as well. This graph also displays the trend of younger children having lower disclosure rates than the older groups. And as you can see, as the older the category gets, the more disclosures are happening. This graph now is analyzing or representing the impact of the form of maltreatment on disclosure. So this shows how child sexual abuse, there is a lot more non-disclosures than all the other forms of child abuse that are listed down there. It's also extremely important to notice how prevalent child sexual abuse is in this data and worldwide. Many people don't realize how prevalent sexual abuse is in their communities, but it is extremely prevalent and it is an ongoing issue. Based on Sass, McGuire, and Goodman, K.A.R.E shows similar disclosure patterns as international reports and supports current trends studied in child abuse research. Working among the staff at K.A.R.E provided me with a real fieldwork experience, and I can't thank them enough for allowing me to go under their wing and show me their ropes. We had a bulk of things planned for April to raise awareness for Child Abuse Prevention Month. During the month of April, agencies like K.A.R.E advocate for the prevention of child abuse in order to detect, report, and help eliminate child abuse in communities. As many families are currently being quarantined, many children are stuck in unsupportive and potentially harmful environments, and K.A.R.E and other agencies are at work currently just to help eliminate this problem. I hope this presentation has brought to light for a bunch of people and for the general audience the prevalence of child abuse in communities as well as the prevalence of child sexual abuse in general. And I hope that this provides you with a chance to make a difference. Thank you.